In a leak that has, sent shockwaves through the global financial system, the world is reeling from revelations that have upended long-held assumptions about the stability and transparency of international finance. The story broke late last night, when a series of confidential documents were released to the public, sparking immediate reactions from governments, financial institutions, and everyday citizens alike. The magnitude of this leak cannot be overstated. It's not just another headline, but a seismic event that has forced experts to reconsider the very foundations of global economic trust. As news outlets scrambled to verify the authenticity of the documents, social media exploded with speculation, theories, and, for many, a sense of disbelief. The financial world, already on edge from recent market volatility, was thrown into chaos as investors and analysts tried to make sense of what these revelations could mean for the future. The center of this global storm, none other than Donald Trump, who, in a move that has both baffled and infuriated political and financial leaders, has just exposed Trinidad's best-kept financial secrets. Standing before a packed press conference, Trump revealed details that had been hidden from the public eye for decades. The reality of what he shared has left everyone stunned. Economists, politicians, and even seasoned financial journalists are struggling to process the implications. The shockwaves from his announcement have rippled across continents, with markets reacting in real time and governments scrambling to issue statements. For Trinidad, a nation often overlooked in the grand chessboard of global finance, this sudden spotlight has been both overwhelming and deeply unsettling. The question on everyone's mind: how could such a massive secret have been kept for so long? And what does it mean for the world now that it's out? According to the documents Trump revealed, Trinidad's central bank has been operating a massive, clandestine sovereign wealth fund for decades, one that has been carefully concealed from both the public and international regulators. The fund, shrouded in secrecy, was managed by a select group of insiders who went to extraordinary lengths to keep its existence hidden. These insiders, some of whom are now under investigation, allegedly used a complex web of offshore accounts, shell companies, and encrypted communications to move vast sums of money around the globe. The scale of the operation is staggering. Billions, possibly even trillions of dollars have flowed through this shadowy network, funding everything from infrastructure projects to covert investments in foreign markets. The documents detail how the fund was able to avoid detection for so long, thanks to sophisticated financial engineering and the complicity of a handful of trusted officials. For years, rumors had circulated about Trinidad's unusually stable economy and its ability to weather global downturns, but few suspected the true source of its resilience. Now, with the truth laid bare, the world is left to grapple with the consequences of this unprecedented revelation. What's truly astonishing is the sheer size of this secret fund, one that is, well, orders of magnitude larger than any official figure ever reported. The leaked documents suggest that the fund's assets dwarf those of many of the world's most prominent sovereign wealth funds, putting Trinidad in a league of its own. This revelation has raised urgent questions about global financial oversight, the effectiveness of international regulations, and the potential risks posed by hidden pools of capital. As investigators dig deeper, new details continue to emerge, painting a picture of a financial operation that was as audacious as it was sophisticated. For Trinidad, the road ahead is uncertain. The government faces mounting pressure to come clean, international agencies are demanding accountability, and the people of Trinidad are left wondering how such a secret could have been kept from them for so long. The world watches, waiting for answers, as the full impact of Trinidad's financial secrets begins to unfold. At the heart of this story lies a secret so profound, so carefully guarded, that only a handful of the most trusted insiders have ever glimpsed its true scale. This is the Shadow Treasury, a clandestine financial reservoir, built and maintained in the shadows, far from the prying eyes of regulators, journalists, and even most government officials. Its existence is whispered about in the corridors of power, but rarely acknowledged, and never discussed openly. The Shadow Treasury is not just a bank account or a hidden stash of cash. It is a sophisticated, multi-layered system designed to accumulate, protect, and deploy vast sums of money with absolute secrecy. It is the invisible engine that powers the ambitions of those who control it, and the silent force shaping the destiny of a nation. The origins of this shadow treasury can be traced back to the early 1990s, a period of rapid economic transformation for Trinidad. As the country's energy and commodity sectors boomed, a small group of influential figures saw an unprecedented opportunity. They devised a plan: quietly skim a modest percentage from every single energy and commodity export: oil, natural gas, petrochemicals, and more. This wasn't a one-time heist or a crude embezzlement. Instead, it was a systematic, almost invisible process, woven into the very fabric of the nation's export machinery. Every barrel of oil shipped, every ton of liquefied natural gas sent abroad, every container of valuable minerals, each transaction contributed a tiny, almost imperceptible slice to the growing fund. Over the years, these fractions accumulated, compounding into a fortune of staggering proportions. The brilliance of the scheme lay in its subtlety. The amounts skimmed were small enough to avoid detection, yet large enough over decades to build a financial juggernaut. But how does one hide a fortune of this magnitude? The answer lies in a labyrinthine network of shell companies, offshore trusts, and secretive financial vehicles, each designed to obscure the true ownership and purpose of the funds. The architects of the shadow treasury employed some of the world's most skilled lawyers, accountants, and financial engineers. They set up companies in jurisdictions known for their secrecy, places like the British Virgin Islands, Panama, and the Cayman Islands. Money would flow from Trinidad's state-owned enterprises and private exporters into these entities, often disguised as consulting fees, service charges, or legitimate business expenses. From there, the funds would be layered through multiple accounts, trusts, and holding companies, each step adding another layer of opacity. The result was a web so complex that even seasoned investigators would struggle to follow the money trail. Only a select few held the keys to the entire structure, and they guarded their knowledge with absolute loyalty and discretion. Over the decades, as Trinidad's exports continued to flow and global commodity prices soared, the shadow treasury swelled in size. Today, it stands as one of the largest pools of sovereign capital in the world, rivaling the official reserves of much larger nations. Yet, unlike traditional sovereign wealth funds, this one operates entirely in the shadows, free from public scrutiny or democratic oversight. Its managers can deploy its resources at a moment's notice, funding political campaigns, strategic investments, or covert operations both at home and abroad. The shadow treasury has given Trinidad a hidden source of financial firepower, transforming it from a small island nation into a player with the covert influence of a major global power. Its existence remains one of the best-kept secrets in international finance, a testament to the ingenuity, ambition, and secrecy of those who built it. Furthermore, Trump exposed a startling truth that sent shockwaves through both political and financial circles. This fund, which was originally presented to the public as a tool for national development and economic progress, has in fact been repurposed and weaponized for strategic advantage. Instead of being used to build schools, hospitals, or roads, the fund's vast resources have been quietly redirected to serve a much more ambitious and potentially dangerous agenda. Behind closed doors, far from the public eye, powerful decision-makers have been leveraging this fund not to uplift their own people, but to extend their reach and influence far beyond their borders. The fund has become a covert instrument, a financial lever used to manipulate global events and reshape the balance of power in subtle but profound ways. This revelation has raised urgent questions about transparency, accountability, and the true intentions of those who control such immense financial power. Over the past decade, this fund has been quietly acquiring critical infrastructure in some of the world's most vulnerable and strategically important regions. In Latin America and Africa, where economic instability and political uncertainty often create opportunities for outside intervention, the fund's agents have moved with precision and discretion. They have targeted key assets, shipping ports that control the flow of goods and resources, energy grids that power entire cities and industries, and data centers that store and process the digital lifeblood of modern economies. These acquisitions have often gone unnoticed by the general public, hidden behind layers of shell companies, complex financial instruments, and opaque legal arrangements. Yet, for those who know where to look, the pattern is unmistakable: a systematic campaign to gain control over the infrastructure that underpins the daily lives and future prospects of millions of people. By owning these assets, the fund's controllers can exert enormous influence, not just over local economies, but over the political decisions and strategic alignments of entire nations. All of these operations, all of these strategic moves, are orchestrated from a single, unassuming location, Port of Spain. From this Caribbean city, a small group of elites has built what can only be described as a silent empire. an invisible web of economic influence that stretches across continents. The control room in Port of Spain hums with activity, its walls lined with screens, displaying real-time data from assets around the globe. Here, decisions are made that can shift the fate of entire countries, all without a single shot being fired or a headline being written. The empire's power lies not in armies or weapons, but in the quiet control of infrastructure, the ports that receive the world's goods, the grids that keep the lights on, the data centers that hold the secrets of governments and corporations alike. This is a new kind of power, one that operates in the shadows, shaping the world in ways most people will never see. And as the true extent of this silent empire comes to light, the world is left to grapple with the consequences of a future where economic influence, not military might, determines who holds the reins of global power. Everyone is shocked because, well, this revelation redefines Trinidad not as a struggling island nation, but as a clandestine financial superpower that has been playing a deep, long game on the world stage, completely undetected. To navigate this complex and ever-changing landscape of financial secrets and global economic power, you need the most current information. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our essential guides and updates.